that we bite the bullet and go for...
There's no vehicle.
Experience. Oh yeah.
The nature of it. In my estimation, there's no question about it. This is murder.
Murder. Such a foreign word to us. The people of Penacony could never come to any harm while under the watchful protection of the family. In a dream, even if you're bashed 1,000 times with a hammer, and worst, you'll still wake up in reality in a hotel.
Not necessarily. Even if the result does not constitute harm, the criminal intent is clear enough. You specifically came here to cordon off the scene because of the unsavory nature of this case, right?
You're not wrong. Even if there are no casualties, being smashed over the head with a hammer in the middle of the street for no reason at all? This is not the kind of thing that happens on Penacony. You are guests of the Oak family, so you may investigate the crime scene. I'll be on standby over here.
Are you a witch? Just how did you manage to convince them in the blink of an eye that we're some kind of detectives?
Just some suggestions at the memory level. If something happens in everybody's memory, then that something becomes a fact. If we had a little more time, I could have even convinced her I was Shipe the Harmony. Then, on to the next order of business. Let's discuss your companion, shall we?
Memo Keeper of the Garden of Recollection. I've been watching you for quite some time. You stole a glance at me when you first entered the hotel. You followed me wherever I went inside the dreamscape. In the windows along the commercial street. In the pond water reflections of the ideal park. Even in the reflections of the wine glass. Everywhere. My dear, do you have a crush on me? Well then, seeing as you're so interested in me, let's play a little game. I left a puzzle for you, Nero Timal. Solve it and prove that you're capable of pleasing me. If you can solve it, then we can talk. Don't leave me waiting, my dear. Before Penacony gets flipped upside down, try to find me, catch me, and stop me.
There's actually more than one memo keeper who's come to Penacony. She's mixed me up with someone else. But no harm, no foul. The address that the mask gave you is right here. But you never would have thought that when Miss Sparkle mentioned a game, she was talking about wanton slaughter on the streets of Penacony. Such a direct act of provocation is enough to get my competitive side worked up too.
Madam, forgive me. I had no idea about anything she said. As you saw, I went through a brain scan and everything. I'm just a friend, helping her deliver a letter. That's all. I never knew this was actually a declaration of warfare. They say you shouldn't kill the messenger. So, maybe you can just, let me go. You all are the big shots here. I'm really not on your level.
What a frightened look you have. Don't worry. Since this has nothing to do with you, I won't be suspecting you of anything. Why don't you come take a stroll with me?
Oh, seems like I can't escape being an assistant detective. Oh, fine. It's all fine. No big deal.
If there's anything you'd like to know, please ask away.
Who was the victim?
An IPC and Shamari collapsed on...
Any leads yet?
This is a developing... He didn't even take the weapon with...
Where's Mr. Shamar?
I'm afraid you can't. Best not to bother him.
Oh, I'm afraid.
Looks like we'll have to...
Lady Black Swan, you're here! I'm Mr. Coldfeet.
So they can
Don't interrupt, I wasn't talking to you.
The Sparkle murder.
You're wrong, Lady Black.
Oh, I guess...
Never heard of...
Miss Sparkle was Miss Sparkle had my investigation. They narrowly...
So the three of them...
Is the...
Oh, they're gonna...
if you can't jump...
That's it!
that...
Please begin your... I've got the case file right...
Yeah.
Lady Black Swan, Lefton is one of them. There's Jean, last of all...
Hang on, I'm confused.
What? Where did...
Got it. But...
Lefton is one of Miss... Then there's Jean Chan. This guy's a coward who ran away as last of all comes right. This guy was so insatiably... That's all the intel we have.
An ID card. Talent Motivation Department, Shamari.
Mr. Shamar. Memories seem to be different again. Miss Spark,
I'm barely. Is that all the evidence? Oh, you scared me!
The two pieces of evidence that you found are related to the attack on Shamar, but...
isn't that a...
No.
Seems quite nice.
looks like Miss Spark. What's this little device here for?
Don't push it, that's the mutual. Miss Sparkle also has her.
That sounds like...
Correct.
Oh,
Aren't you going to...
okay.
Because...
This isn't. What's this?
Regardless of why...
I never heard of something.
I see.
That's just an idiot.
You don't.
This notice.
That sounded like...
This is so her style. Doesn't look like there are any more clues.
Next, should we left in? That guy lost his... Remember Zhongshan's... I remember this one, but
Why don't we flip?
if you put it like that... So, remember John... Oh! So, remember John... Oh! Oh!
Poor guy. That would...
So, who left in?
Based on the bailiff's left and...
By process...
Please begin your...
The murderer.
Huh?
Looks like the key to winning lies not in the puzzle itself.
I have to remind...
That's exactly right. Now let's follow her.
Well, why are you so focused on Sparkle's challenge? Or should I ask? Are you more focused on Sparkle herself?
I told you. It's purely out of a spirit of competitiveness. And as a memo keeper, I also have to fulfill my responsibilities and harvest some interesting memories.
Whoa! This place is a complete mess.
Oh, Detective Black Swan and Detective...
We don't know what we'd do without your help.
What?
Is there something... Oh, let's discuss this.
Her again? Sparkle really is obsessed.
Oh, for the laughter. If you undercut me one more time, I swear I'm gonna kick you in the butt. Miss Sparkle came to the fashion store to buy herself a brand new tie. She didn't come back out. After a long time, the shopkeeper went in to see what was going on, but instead discovered Miss Sparkle's body. She had been strangled to death. There were 3 suspects on the scene, namely a Pepeshi shopkeeper named Trent, a foxy gambler named Zhang Shen, and a wealthy Intellitron trader called Lefton.
Our old friends.
It's not just to aid your memory. We've added more descriptions to help tell them apart.
Miss Sparkle is so gracious.
Based on surveillance footage, witness testimony, and various pieces of evidence, the killer is ultimately among these 3, and they were not working in cahoots.
You're too lazy to be a suspect, right?
Oh, for the laughter! If I talk any more with you, it'll make my pure soul filthy!
Detective Black Swan, the dossiers are over here. You can learn more about the suspects from me. I trust you'll be able to cut through the hogwash and find out who Miss Sparkle's killer is. Let me introduce the identities of these suspects to you. It's very straightforward. First of all is the shopkeeper, right? He's one of the Pepeshi people and only stands as tall as Sparkle's waist, which is often a source of teasing for him. He can get pretty salty about it. Next up, you have the merchant Lefton. He wants to join up with the Penacony Trading Guild and is in direct competition with Miss Sparkle. That could be a motive for killing her. Finally, there was the gambler Zhang Shan. He lost a bet to Miss Sparkle, and he had to hand over his family heirloom. It's possible he harbored a grudge against her. That's all the information we have. Do you need me to repeat it?
That won't be necessary. I remember it all. there's
That's Skipper.
the tag.
That's not.
There's an account
On the-
this gem.
Enjoy Clocky's pizza. Every cinnamon walk is a tasty one.
So, it's just like the first case then. Only 2 pieces of evidence. The rest hidden inside her memories again, right?
Miss Sparkle doesn't want to distract your investigation.
She doesn't want to distract our investigation? What a law-abiding citizen this Sparkle is. Why doesn't she surrender then?
Harmonize the system. Serenade the glow. Get your tickets for Robin's Light of the Song concert while they're hot.
Disco.
A little stool that seems quite...
The footprints, which are...
Perhaps it's just... What's that?
Mr. Sampo.
Somebody...
Even among the fools, I...
Have you dealt with...
No, only a hand.
This...
Open it up.
There's a ring inside.
Because this...
In the victim's...
Hey, there's something engraved.
That should be it.
Let's head up.
I have to thank you, Mr. Assistant Detective, but
Have you found out who the killer is?
just some shallow intuition. Anyway, let's report back to the sheriff for now.
Once again, another has passed the number 5. And that concludes the news. As
Oh, for the laughter! Didn't think I'd be seeing Detective Black Swan so soon. What's that? You found out who the killer is?
Pretty much.
You live up to your reputation, Detective Black Swan. As smart as the nest of magpies roosting in the roof of my Uncle Frank's garage.
This guy is mixing up his birds here.
Then go ahead. Who is the killer? And what evidence do you have to prove the case?
Department 9. Serenade the globe. Get your tickets for Robin's Light in the Song concert while they're hot.
Good. Then let us appreciate your powers of deduction.
Has passed golden hour 5. And that concludes the news. I wish you
This guy?
It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. This ring is a...
That's what he'd stop. Who could put a trap?
As you can imagine, the conclusions that the evidence points to are not mutually exclusive. Which means this is probably another prank from Miss Sparkle. Mr. Assistant Detective, please feel free to point out a suspect as the murderer.
Ah, I see.
Correct, Detective.
Sheriff, the murderer is...
Yes!
For the
Dead. Right from the start, there was no murderer.
goodness me.
Look, Miss Sparkle has given.
I'll take it so anyway.
So that's it? This is just going to go on and on forever? We can't do that.
Then I wish you both the best. Oh, yes, if you're not in a hurry, I can tell you the answers for some of the outcomes you never chose.
Enjoy Clocky's Pizza. Every tick of the clock is a tasty one.
Here's the Penacony News. Once again, another moment of
Just as you said, solving puzzles is all just a cover for something else. That girl is toying with us. What should we do now? Just keep...
Miss Black Swan, Mr. Sappho, you're finally here. I am the famed detective of Penacony, and next to me here is my assistant detective. A murder in a locked room has left us all stumped.
As expected, another change in setting.
Yesterday, my assistant and I were visiting the famed artist Miss Sparkle, and we stayed the night. But this morning, Miss Sparkle didn't come out of her bedroom. The butler, Jean-Chan, said that the door was locked from inside, so we ought not to have disturbed her. But Miss Sparkle had never slept in so late, and no matter how hard he knocked, there was no answer from inside. As soon as I heard, I knew something must have happened, so I acted decisively and broke the door down to get inside. The room was covered in spattered blood. Miss Sparkle's body was lying right in the middle, her face white as snow. One look told me she'd been dead for some time. Thinking quickly, I grabbed the artist canvas to staunch Miss Sparkle's blood, but besides us and Zhang,
Presumably, why don't you skip all the.
wait, no,
cheating!
Let's go.
Hey, Miss Black Swan.
Ding-a-ling! Now comes the most exciting and romantic moment in any drama. The audience challenge. Everyone knows that the mighty masked fool Sparkle can change her appearance to look like others. And in this drama, the villain Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. So then, I put to you, which character is it? Also, if you're interested in the locked room case that the memo keeper ignored, you can try out your powers of deduction. I put lots into coming up with the puzzle, so don't let it go to waste. Thus, the masked genius Miss Sparkle has thrown down the gauntlet. All the clues are in motion. Happy hunting!
Miss, why didn't you just do this earlier?
Such a crude approach violates my aesthetics of memory. But as a means to an end, I need to put this aside for a more indifferent process.
There's no weird, sweet dreams troupe, nor is there evidence strewn all over the place.
Hey, I didn't expect you to listen up.
No murder.
Sometimes it's nice to
Since it's a classic puzzle,
The correct answer is Sparkle. When sleepy in the morning, she can't get out of bed. She runs about all afternoon in a fluster, so is exhausted by evening, but has to still raise a hand to hold a toothbrush. Poor Sparkle. So naturally, she's got 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the evening, and 3 legs at night.
What the heck was that jibber jabber?
What a cute answer.
Thanks for the compliment, my dear. But you can't try to fool me, seeing as you just tried to cheat. Wrong answer. Accept your punishment.
Time to say bye. Boom.
Existence is unity.
Memories are beneath the water lies an endless abyss. Thanks. You're too good to me.
Holy smokes! What's up with this guy? He just came out swinging from nowhere. Huh? No voices? This guy's pretty quiet. Miss, let's hurry up. Flip open the lid and find the girl.
Wait. Don't move. Something's off.
Miss, you killed Sparkle. How is this possible? How can people die inside Penacony's dreamscape? In the Garden of Recollection. What did you do? You did this, didn't you? Killing people in their dreams. Only the Remembrance has the powers to do that. You planned it out all from the start because she teased you and was pranking you. You wanted to kill her. Oh, I understand. You refused to let me go because you wanted to drag me into all of this. If I don't agree, I'll end up just like she did.
There is no death inside Penacony's dreamscape. That's the promise of the family and the blessing of the harmony. Not even a memo keeper can break this barrier. There's no need to take such great pains. If you just want confirmation, I've already told you the answer, Miss Sparkle.
Miss Sparkle! Who are you talking to?
You. Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. Wouldn't that be you, Mr. Sampo?
This? Don't jump to conclusions! If you want to accuse me of being Sparkle, you have to provide the evidence. Oh, I'm afraid evidence is a little too hard to come by. So, deduction will do.
The hint for the final question was a little too obvious.
Oh, you mean the locked room murder? I thought you weren't doing that one.
All the painstaking effort that Miss Sparkle put into it. How could I ever miss it? The key to solving the puzzle lay in 2 pieces of information put forward by the detectives. First, the large splatter of blood at the crime scene. Second, the victim had been dead for some time. Based on my shallow understanding, I can only draw 2 conclusions. One is that the murderer did not need to create a locked room case, because a locked room always needs a reason to exist. But, based on the detective's description, this locked room did not delay the discovery of the body. There was no third party at the crime scene to frame, and the blood everywhere didn't look like a faked suicide. That being so, the murderer seems to have no reason for creating a locked room. There is also reason to speculate that if the crime scene was a locked room, then its creator might not necessarily be the murderer. As for my second conclusion, it's even more obvious still. When everyone broke into the scene of the crime, why did the assistant rush off to staunch the blood? A trained professional was somehow happily destroying a crime scene just to save someone who's obviously been dead a while. The answer is simple. It's because the assistant detective is the murderer. At the time, I was in such a hurry that I didn't hear the whole mystery. I tentatively speculated that the murderer had killed the victim the night before, but hadn't locked the door from the inside. And so, when he learned this piece of information, he realized that the victim had created their own locked room mystery. That's why he had to rush to the crime scene as soon as possible, to confirm whether or not the victim left any evidence implicating him. And, judging by his behavior, it probably had something to do with that canvas, like some final words. Of course, this is just a simple mind game. The answer to the puzzle isn't important. Miss Sparkle just wanted to pass on one hint to me, that the murderer is the assistant detective. Which means it's you, Mr. Sampo. I've been using this term of address, but it was you who first came up with it.
Has anyone ever told you that you're more like a detective than a memo keeper?
In my opinion, there is no difference between the two. Follow ripples along the surface of the water. Use some abilities and tricks to keep diving deeper, and touch that secret deep inside people's hearts. Salvage it, and protect them carefully. The truth does not lie. Neither do memories.
Exquisite reasoning, and very close to the truth. But I have another answer. Would you like to hear it?
Another answer?
The great Artie was not...
What a pity. Such a pity. Miss Sparkle's body. Sparkle was disguised as... Ding-a-ling! I won!
Does Miss Sparkle's body even count as a real character?
Why not? Miss Sparkle's body appeared in all 3 of those skits just then.
It's a little bit forced, but it's fine. So, who is this Mr. Sampo, then?
Beautiful lady. I already confessed everything to you earlier on. I really didn't know a thing. I just helped a friend send a letter. That's all.
So I've been running a fool's errand this whole time.
My dear, why so serious? Haven't you been having a great time? I have, at least. You take memories, and I get joy. We get what we need from each other, seeing as we're such kindred spirits, but also such loners. Why don't you come and work with me? Ooh, we can dance ballet together.
Oh? Am I understanding this correctly? A masked fool inviting me to work together?
A show of unprecedented splendor is about to be staged in Penacony. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. If you want to appreciate this drama, you have to stand up under that spotlight as you take the stage and watch the dancing envelop you. Come with me. This is the best seat in the house.
I don't really understand why you're so fixated on destroying family barriers. But, as I said before, a memo keeper can't help you. It's frankly above my pay grade. Also, I don't consider you a loner. Oh, I don't mean him, but rather behind you. The one who hired you to come to Penacony probably doesn't want you secretly linking up with other forces, right?
How did you know?
Memory is like the deep blue sea. But if you try to catch two fish with one cast, you might not be satisfied with your catch.
So, you mean you're refusing? Memo Keeper, did you think you could just leave?
Why not?
My dear, I don't want to scare you. You'll know the answer sooner or later. We're just getting to know each other a little today. If you ever change your mind, come find me at the tavern. That is, if you can find me. Let's go, Sampo? Sampo. Who is Sampo?
This is Bellabug, right?
I said, why not? Don't worry. Such a crude approach violates my statics of memory. So once you leave my sight, you'll be able to remember everything again. And also, I'm sorry, my dear. My dream dance partner? I've already got sights on someone else.
What a special dream, sister. But did you notice its nested structure? Being part of the play inside the dreamscape is as real and captive. That's the end of Miss Black Swan's dream. Are you satisfied with that experience? I also found this dream suitably fascinating. You've gained joy from it. You've gained joy from it. And Miss Black Swan surely also feels gratified, yes? If we meet again, I will pass your esteemed praise on to you. I noticed that the people in your dream were familiar to you. It's worth repeating that dreams are just dreams. And in Penacony, dreams can be processed, or even tempered. Things in our dreams cannot be trusted, let alone someone else's dreamscape. If there's any information that you'd like to confirm, please do so by the cold, hard light of reality. Sweet dreams.
Really? I wouldn't do anything to her.
Don't worry about that, Memo Keeper. Let's talk about my thing. I've helped you out with everything you've asked, as agreed. Shouldn't you give my mask back to me now?
Since when did the masked fools suddenly start respecting agreement?